Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deckinaround Kickstarter Edition. Today, we're going to be taking a look at any decks that have funded in the past 7 days, any decks that are new to Kickstarter in the past week, and any decks that will end their round of funding in the next 7 days. But before we jump into it, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, right about.
And a big thank you to our sponsors. Introducing the Latin Quarter playing cards and gaming chips from McClure and Stark. This ultimate poker player's chipset will turn every poker night into an underground casino night. Make sure to check them out on Kickstarter now.
You may have experienced capturing fireflies in a jar on a warm summer's night as a kid. Seeing that glow was like holding the power of lightning in your own hands. This is Marvelous Decks. Join us as we celebrate the marvelous and amazing things that surround us. Sign up and get notified at marvelousdecks.com.
Alright, so let's take a look at Kickstarter.
Let's do it.
So, congratulations to the Tribute Modern Life's playing cards. Congratulations to the RWY deck for funding. Congrats to Bicycle Cybershock playing cards. Congrats to Spiel Digital Novelties playing cards. And congratulations to Jet Setter playing cards, which will fund in 33 minutes.
Look at that little bump right there.
And congratulations to Card College playing cards, which will fund
Just
by the
lost some
time
money.
this airs. So, ending in the next 7 days, we have the Flatline playing cards.
Yeah, crushing it.
We have the Galactic Paradise playing cards. We have the Grit playing cards. The Love Pose Minimalist Design Love Pose playing cards. The Hello Tiki V3 playing cards. The Tartan playing cards. The Printed playing cards, limited edition. The Cookie Racers playing cards. The Pixel Clown playing cards. The Gourmet playing cards by Riffle Shuffle. The Willow Standard playing cards. And the In Session playing cards Freshman Year by Danny Carey. So let's take a look at our first deck this week, the Fiber deck. So this is the world's first mini carbon fiber deck of cards, which I think, one of the big things that probably jumps out to me right away is that this is probably going to have a pretty high price point. It looks like the standard price on this is about $92 shipped, so I can definitely see why this wasn't successful the first time, especially because you're looking at $6,600 goal. You're selling a lot of decks of expensive cards. I just don't see a lot of market for this. I think the other interesting thing about this is it's really it's kind of a novelty deck, and to me, a novelty deck like this is something that you market significantly in order to get people onto it. And I haven't seen anything about this deck other than right here on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think that this person who created this deck is in the COD community, because they would know that this probably wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And it's mini, right?
Yeah,
so
it's
not
deck.
Even full-size deck, which, again, like you said, it's a novelty / niche gimmicky deck that isn't really going to have a lot of attention, I wouldn't think. It's cool. The idea is cool.
Yeah.
If you look, like right there, it says for, the 12, how much is it for 12 of them? So it's like $56 or something.
So for an early bird for 12, it's $687.
Which is like $57.
Yeah. For the regular 12, it's $878. That's the other thing.
So
that's
let's
a
just
$200 increase on early bird to non-early bird.
Yeah, and it's literally $57 on a per deck if you get an early bird brick. Why can't you just make it $57? That's $40 difference. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's $40 per deck. So clearly the deck doesn't cost $92.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, this is definitely a very, very niche deck that I think in order for this to fund, you need to get a lot of visibility, a lot of eyes on this. Go out and market the heck out of it. The interesting thing is, though, too, just because this is not a standard playing card deck doesn't mean I'm not curious about who's going to be making it and who is going to be fulfilling it. So that information's still valuable there. But yeah, I just don't. I see the cost being extremely prohibitive for this deck. So I don't. Good luck. But
Yeah,
I
good
think
luck.
you might have to figure out a better approach with this one.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Time is Magic animated playing cards. So this is a time/steampunk style cards with built-in animations.
Yeah, dude, I saw actually kind of like a moving GIF of it,
Okay.
and on the backs, the wheels move and the time moves like the clock. It's pretty dope.
Is that like between cards, like with the
Kind of
mark,
like a
like with the
yeah,
mark
yeah,
deck? Okay.
yeah. I
That's
don't know if this is marked, but the wheels turn on it in two different areas.
all
Actually,
right.
if you watch the video right
Yeah.
there, I'll show you.
Well, so
Super cool in two separate spots. The main one and the small one move.
yeah, I mean, inadvertently, it is a marked deck, even if it wasn't. This is. Please note that this is not a marked deck. So okay,
Right.
so
Yeah.
while there are moving parts which will mark some of the cards, there's no consistency across or individuality across all
Right.
52 to make it actually marked. So you
Which
could
is
probably
cool.
isolate it down to like 4 or 6 cards that you're looking at based on the marking on the back. It's interesting. We've seen a lot of time related decks lately.
Yeah, this one's kind of cool though. I like that back design on the faces. It's
Yep.
kind of um, it's kind of a cross between a Pharaoh deck in a way because there's no numbers on the face cards, right? Does
Um,
that like look right there? It doesn't say the number, right?
it has little clocks.
Yeah, so that's a little confusing. You definitely can't use the deck for poker or anything.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's an interesting concept. And like I said, we've seen a good amount of time decks. This isn't necessarily my style, but
Those boxes are dope
I
though.
like the display stand too. The display stand is a nice
Yeah,
little touch, has that steampunk vibe to it. Uh,
yeah.
the one thing I will say about this, oh, yeah, $32 a deck. Um,
Wow. Yeah, that's. I mean, it's foil, but that doesn't.
yeah, but like
What's
it's
the standard? What's the standard one look like? Go up.
standard
That's
ones.
the
This
display.
single
Is
red,
that one right there?
uh, this right here.
That's that one. Okay, yeah, that's super expensive. Who's printing it? Probably like it looks like an NPC type deck or
Yeah,
NPCC. Those
um,
borders are huge.
they are huge. It's like there's a lot like this would have been a nice thin border deck. There's a lot of little things that I would have liked to see here,
Thank you.
including who's printing it.
Does it say all the way up top or yeah? No, while designing these cards, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't see it anywhere. Oh, what about right here? Specific cards, cell wrapped. So, no, right there. Oh, what's this box? Are printed full color Xanta box board. What's that?
so most likely a non-known printer. Dude, the price point on this is just entirely too high. This I could justify at the for the fact that there's the foil on the box at maybe like a $22 price point, not a 30,
Is
32.
there? But is there? I think it's foil on the deck too, on the cards, the back design. Is that clock foil?
Doesn't look like it. It just looks like ink.
Press play on that one, on the red one.
I mean, that's the video we
Yeah, no,
just
that's
watched.
that looks foil, dude. It looks kind of bright for just normal ink.
I don't
But I
think
mean,
so.
that might not mean anything. But
No,
regardless
there you
of,
go.
even if it is foil, it's still expensive.
Yeah, there's
I think
yeah,
it's foil.
it does look like it could be foil. Still though,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pricey.
Yeah, it's
Um,
still too expensive. How much is that one right there with that cover?
I don't
I'm
know.
curious.
That's the case, so I'm guessing it's an add-on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, listen, I mean, nice deck, high price point, definitely should be in the
No.
mid 20s is a more reasonable for this deck, especially first time out the gate. Like you got to build your reputation up before you can drop that kind of price point on it. Having the fulfillment on there would be a big help as well as the printer. So, good luck on it. Next up, we have the Wonderland plus Looking Glass flip book playing cards.
Look at how long that title is, dude.
I know. I don't ever want to be like, oh yeah, you should keep your title relatively concise, but oh jeez, you're relatively
Concise.
concise, yeah. But I think the that's a long one.
Yeah. Just call it Wonderland, man.
Yeah, or like Wonderland 2 decks. Like talk about the fact that it's a flip book in the campaign itself. I don't know if anyone's really going to be like, "Oh man, I have to have these because it says it's a flip book." Like,
Yeah, so it's USPCC, which is good.
yeah,
What's this? Go up for a second. What's that right there? What does it say? 1,000 of each deck is going to be made by USP. 1,000 of each deck.
yep,
Hopefully in December time. Fingers crossed. It closed down again due to COVID. Bro, but I'm just I'm sick of seeing all this stuff about COVID. Like, we get it, COVID is going on, but USPCC is back open.
yeah. But now I'm gonna put a stop right there because there could be a second flare up, and I'm just gonna
Of
say,
course, of
yeah.
course they could,
So
but
that's a risk. You have to put that in there. I mean, that's like being if any imminent danger is there for the campaign and you don't put it, your backers are gonna hate you. Put it in there. As annoying as it is, please put it in there. Seriously. To not put it in here now would make you seem like you don't know what you're talking about.
no, hey, you prefer it. That's fine.
I mean, there's literally a risks and challenges part of every campaign because if you don't put the risks and challenges,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
missing a
throw it
large
down
part.
there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, yeah, throw it down there.
yeah.
I don't want to see it up top.
Uh, I don't see a
How much is it?
fulfillment on this. $15 shipped.
It's not bad.
Yeah. I
USPCC fully custom deck.
yeah, artwork's not too bad.
Yeah. Face card's got some stuff going on.
Yeah. Jokers are interesting. It's definitely not a bad looking deck if this is your style. We've seen a good amount of Alice in Wonderland decks, but like not necessarily my style. Price point you can't beat. $15 for a fully custom deck there. Definitely worthwhile. It's
What's the
pretty,
goal?
yeah, pretty low goal there, I think, just to kind of get the momentum behind it, obviously. But in reality, that's not covering the cost of 2 decks printed by USPCC at 1,000
What's the
each,
goal?
20,
I can't really see it.
2,500.
All right, that's low.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like a lot of people who put that low goal, there's one of two things. It's either you're going to print it regardless, or you want that high percentage of funded already.
yeah. And it looks like these are actually part of Bob decks. So they've created decks in the past as well. Clockwork Quackington deck, Clockwork Laville, yeah, Lavilla Lumiere.
Long titled decks. Oh, they did the Clockwork Empire deck.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I mean, they definitely know what they're doing from that point of view. But I think the goal there was because they probably would have gone for it either way, and they wanted to get the 226% funded. So
Right.
not a bad looking deck though. Next up is the graphic cheat sheet playing cards printed by Cardamundi. So this I've seen a lot around Instagram, around social media.
Yeah.
It's really been advertised pretty heavily. Not a bad looking deck. I think the cards themselves are interesting. I like that it's kind of a broken border on the back. And even on the front, you can see like it goes full bleed on part of it, but not on the other part. It's a really unique kind of design to it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like.
How much is it?
Oh, that's $21 shipped.
Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, it's a pretty deck for sure. It looks really pretty. It would look great on your table for fanning.
Yeah,
It's definitely very colorful. My only thing is I mean, you're not going to carry this deck around comparing colors and stuff like that. It's just a graphic designer is just not going to carry that around. That's just my thing.
no, I mean it's definitely an
And are they
interesting
even
concept.
accurate? Are they even accurate colors? That's the question as well.
Yeah,
Things vary, based on what they're printed on and stuff like that.
it's an interesting concept, and I think we've seen a lot of this kind of like trend going around right now, where you can turn a deck of cards into a tool for people to have, whether it be photographers or in this case graphic designers. Not a bad concept, but I think I mean that is a sick looking fan. So I think the
Yeah,
real
it's a pretty deck for sure.
yeah, but I think that's more of the appeal for this is the visual aspect of it, and I think the
Yeah.
usefulness of it. At least in my opinion, I'm not a graphic designer, so from a couple of the graphic designers I have talked to about this, there would be concerns about the usability of this, but I think as a
Right.
playing card deck, it's neat looking. I dig it.
I mean, you can't use it for poker or anything. It's super confusing and too colorful. So I think it's just a gimmick deck to have
Yeah,
for fun. And
yeah, but that's not bad though. Too, you look at that, $124 for full brick. Not
yeah,
bad. So
yeah.
yeah, it's
I think
interesting.
I think it's a great deck to have for sale at like a Michaels or like stuff like that where people can pick it up, Hobby Lobby or whatever they're called.
And who will be fulfilling it? So I don't see fulfillment. My guess would be that it's self-fulfilled. Oh, there we go. Fulfillment by Gambler's Warehouse. So yeah, not bad. They have their fulfillment. They have their printer Cardamundi on Slimline. That's gonna be a nice deck on the Slimline. I think the price point again for what this is probably $2 too high. This 18-19
Yeah,
would be about the right price point for me. But cool deck if you're into it. Cool deck if you like the look of it. So good
yeah. I mean,
luck.
I'm thinking 15 ship tops.
Yeah. So
Yeah, cool. The back design reminds me of the knock cardistry con from last year. Just all the knock is just all green and yellow,
yeah. Well,
but it's the same pixelated back for the most part.
cool. Well, good luck, guys. Next up, we have the Fearless the Untouchables playing cards.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, cool. If you're
Yeah,
into that
we'll talk
whole
about crime mob boss and stuff.
1930 mob boss vibe, this is definitely an interesting deck.
Yeah.
Back design's a little lackluster in my book, but it's not bad. I feel
That's the
like
back design.
yeah,
Wow, interesting.
yeah. I mean, it is interesting. It's just not my taste. Um,
Yeah,
Cards aren't bad though. I like the kind of line drawing style that's like reminiscent of the traditional courts brought onto this. Pretty monochromatic, obviously. Joker's interesting. Who's gonna be printing it?
oh, it's Kelly Gang. They're a reputable company.
Yeah,
Buy-worthy. What's that say? Manufacturing and fulfillment. There you go.
yeah. NPCC fulfilled by NPCC as well. So not my
NPCC.
NPCC, yes.
Yeah.
Not
Nice.
my not up my alley just based on that there, but $15 shipped. So not
Nice.
bad. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. If you're into that era and that scene, definitely
Yeah, definitely not a bad deck.
good pricing. Yeah, for sure.
Good luck. Next up, we have the Stardust playing cards, Black Edition. Don't I know this Spyworthy's involved with this one as well? Kind of dig that dragon there, not gonna lie.
Yeah, you do.
Uh,
Not my style.
it's interesting for sure.
Is that the back design?
Yeah, a lot of
Kind of
void
looks like a
space.
DeVoe deck.
To some extent, but yeah, there's just a lot of void space on the back there.
Is that the designer?
Yes, literally says the artist.
Oh,
Nuka Alice.
cool.
60 custom cards.
Wow, that's a big deck.
Yeah. 4 duplicate aces.
What?
Interesting.
Yeah, who's printing this? NPCC?
I'm guessing
Probably.
at that, like, deck
Wow,
count.
what is
Like,
that? What is that?
these are
Oh,
the
that's 4
cards.
kings. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is that one card? Interesting. It's a dark deck, that's for sure.
It really
A lot of
is.
black going on.
I
How much
like
is
the
it?
art. Yeah, NPCC as well.
Yeah. It literally looks like the same information was copied from the last one
I
that
mean, it is. You
Byworthy
can
did.
see. Well, it's funny because
Yeah,
Byworthy is running both campaigns, and you can see one
yeah,
dash deck. The structure of it's the same as well. $15 as well. Again, I think this is
same
another one
thing.
where if you're into the style of the deck, $15 is a deal right there. NPCC obviously more oriented towards collectors than usability. It's not going to be great fanning or you know anything kind of deck handling deck in general. But the artwork is if it's up your alley, that's a great deal for a collector's deck. So. Cool.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Next up, we have.
Yeah.
Also, make sure to stick around to the end to find out which decks Steve and I would back this week. Next up, we have the Bonacci playing cards, Inizio and Nautica.
I really dig this deck.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's just super clean. I just dig it because it's simple, it's clean. I dig the back design. I prefer the white one over the navy, I think it is.
Yeah, it looks navy.
Yeah, it's standard deck, but I just it's just classy and clean looking, you
it
know?
the Jokers for some reason remind me very much of like Tommy Hilfiger.
Oh, they totally do.
But yeah, no, I mean,
But
listen, it's not a
it,
bad looking. You know where I could definitely see this, and obviously it's meant to be like somewhat of a nautical themed deck. The name being Nautica.
you can see it. You can see it in the
Like this would,
Nautica store.
well, this would be like sitting on someone's like boat. Like
Yeah, totally.
it's
Yeah,
really
for
not a
sure.
bad looking deck though. I agree. It's very simple. It's very clean. Um,
Yeah, I dig it.
Not bad. What's the price point on it?
This I'm gonna
Er-
say 16.
Early bird is 13 shipped.
Oh,
Standard
nice.
shipped is 15. So really, yeah, not
Good,
bad at all. Let's see who's printing.
good job.
Um, I see, and I personally I like the navy better.
I like the navy, but dude, it's gonna look like trash after 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, you put it through its paces, it's definitely gonna bleed a bit. But let's
I mean,
see.
it's gonna look like literally if you farrow that thing 4 times, it's gonna look disgusting.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I don't like about colored borders. You know?
it's interesting because they could have gone with a white border on this one still. Perfect.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
again, using the
Gamblers
logos,
USPCC.
Gamblers
Yeah,
USPCC, great combo. $15 a deck, perfect price point. Dude, that's a solid
good
deck there.
job. Yeah,
Again, this
good
is another
job.
one where I'd be down to check out the merch. I actually really like the shirt here too. I don't know, like I wouldn't necessarily wear it, but I like the styling of it.
Yeah,
So
I'm very picky with stuff like that.
yeah, dude, that good looking deck.
It's
So
cool. I dig it.
yeah, and at $15, if this is your style, like this is a nice deck. So good
Yeah,
luck. Next up, we
we'll
have
watch.
the 2020 Vision deck. I feel like this is the third deck I've seen this year that's literally called the 2020 Vision deck. Except this one
I
is
think so.
related to politics. So nice change of pace
Yeah.
there. I wasn't expecting that
This is
one.
the Democratic one, I think.
Um, yes,
I think
looks
it's a
like it.
Democratic deck.
Yes,
Oh, 2020 Vision. I get it.
yeah.
The year 2020, not necessarily 2020.
So all custom
Characters.
courts. Yeah, all custom
Yeah.
courts.
Yeah.
What do the number cards look like? I'm curious. Yeah, listen, I mean, if this is your style deck,
I mean, that back design. And this looks like it would be in like the White House novelty store or something.
yeah, I mean, listen, I not my style.
Yeah, mine either.
If it is awesome, but yeah, it's a little too. It's weird because I like the outer style. I like everything until you get into the donkey in the center where it turns into like a cartoon with sunglasses on. Everything else about it's actually pretty like not bad looking, kind of elegant looking, you know. But I actually
No,
really like the
just
number cards
not
though
my
too.
style.
There's
Yeah,
no
those are cool.
yeah, they're kind of nicely. You can see they're hand drawn. They've got that little bit of like shading to them. Pretty cool look to it. Um, what are we at price point wise though? $22 shipped.
Crazy.
Yeah, too high. This
Six
is
six dollars too high.
yeah. Now this is definitely a $15-16 deck. Um, yeah, that's a tough one. That being said, I also don't see where he discussed.
Shipping was right there. Uncut sheets. How much they charge for uncut sheets? I'm just curious. This is something that we should really start touching up on. Is the price people charge for these uncut sheets?
Available as an add-on to 47. Oh,
How much is it?
$47
For an
shipped.
uncut sheet, is that including shipped?
Yeah, shipped.
So it's about $30, a little less, $28.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a little high.
Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, like, we've seen some ridiculous pricing on uncut sheets. We've seen some more reasonable. I think the demand isn't always there for uncut, so in reality, you have to go higher to account for the fact that 3 people are going to buy them, and those 3 people have to cover the cost of them. Um,
Yeah, I mean it depends on who you're going through as well.
Produced by
Some people don't
Liberty
require
Playing
it.
Cards.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure who Liberty Playing Cards is. Proudly made in the United States. Maybe it's a company that uses USPCC to print. Maybe they do their own printing operations. I'd be curious to find out. And I don't see fulfillment, so I'm going to make the assumption that it's self-fulfillment, but if that is the case, definitely put the information on the campaign. I think the price point is just a bit too high. It needs to be closer to that, $15, $16 price.
Yeah, not my style, but good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Next up, we have I've been dreading this one because trying to pronounce this is going to be a bear, but I like this deck. The Lepidopterist deck. Lepidopterist deck. That's what I'm going with. So the designer behind this deck.
Oh my god.
The designer behind this
Killing
deck
me.
actually was commissioned recently to do a deck for Theory 11. That deck has not yet been released, but they decided based off of that they wanted to design another deck of cards, and that's where this deck came into play. Lepidopterist. Lepidopterist. See, look at this. Phonetics right there. Saved me. Lepidopterist.
Oh my god. Killing me.
But I think this is a very intricate design. You can tell just from looking at it that it has that Theory 11 style to it. Very intricate tuck.
I'm gonna say it's Lepidopterist.
I mean, it literally has the phonetics right there. Lepidopterist.
Lepidopterist.
Okay, Steve.
Whatever. No, I'm just good.
Nice brick box there. Interesting.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like the design of this card. Okay, metallic brass ink. Interesting choice. I haven't seen a metallic brass ink yet. I've seen a gold. I've seen a copper. Seen the silver.
I think it's in between those. It's probably one of those colors. It's probably the copper.
I mean, I hope it's not the
Copper's
copper because
brass.
I think no, copper is not brass. Copper is red. Brass is yellow. But this could be an interesting color choice, a little bit darker than a gold if that's the route they go. So could be cool to see. It also looks like some metallic ink on the faces as well. Relatively standard faces with like the addition of butterflies to go along with the theme of the deck. Not too bad.
I mean, the face cards are totally different. The pips are totally different.
Oh
Different
yeah,
style.
they actually look like they were just kind of turned sideways.
Yeah, the one on the right, I'm saying, it's totally
Yeah.
different. The way it's laid out.
Yeah, I mean,
The 10.
yeah. So interesting. Multiple editions there. You got the deluxe and the release edition. I think the deluxe is Kickstarter only, limited to 500 decks. I would be curious to see the cards from within the deluxe edition. Burgundy paper stock with black off-white holographic foils as well as embossing. So that's the interesting thing about that though too. So are the cards different? This release will feature a burgundy paper stock. Okay, so is it just the tuck that's different? Is it the cards that are different? Definitely something worth mentioning because if you want people to jump into that one, you want to see both decks. If it's the same deck with just a different tuck, also fine. Just be clear about that.
It's got. I'm thinking it's the same deck, and this is why I say it is because they're printing with USPCC, and you can't do 500 print runs, so it's definitely the other deck
Yeah.
as well.
So, Clove Street
it's
Press, USPCC printed, Art of Play fulfillment. It's going to be a
How
solid
much is this deck?
$19 shipped.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's really not bad. 21 shipped after the... Wait a second. Standard edition, release edition, deluxe edition. So the
Wait, what's the difference between standard and release?
that's what I'm gonna go try and find out right now. Okay.
Standard.
The release has gold coloring on it versus green. Let's see if that's foil though. Green paper stock.
So it's just a tuck difference,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. But also though, that
What's the
tuck difference
point?
is $2, and they're adding foil to it. So it's not cost
Why don't
wise.
you
It's
just
not bad
print the foil tuck?
because they
So
wanted to do
weird.
different ones. And then ultimately, you for a hollow foil, you're doing an extra $1 there. So it's not bad cost wise increasing there. 19 shipped for the standard. The one area that I will say there's a price concern for me on that is being a very Theory 11 style deck. You're a notch higher than the Theory 11 price point. Not to say that you should be trying to come in at an $11 deck for this, but I think 19 puts it on the higher end of where it's at. I'd say that if you could have got this down to like maybe 17, it probably would have gotten a little more momentum behind it, but it's still a good looking deck. I like it. I enjoy the idea that it's a butterfly deck and it really touches on that. So
Yeah, I mean it's a cool deck.
yeah,
I mean it's what's the goal on it?
18,900.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for a goal
Yeah. So, and you know what though? I think a lot of that.
for one deck technically.
Yeah, I'm guessing a lot of it is the variation on the tux. 1,000, 1,500. So they're probably printing 2,500 or more.
Well, they hope.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. I like the deck though. I think I saw it come out. I saw it on Reddit before it dropped here. I think it's a cool looking deck. I really dig the back design. Um, Kind of wish there was a little bit more color to it, maybe. But even as it is, I think it's really good looking. So
It's kind of it reminds me of it's even steampunkish
yeah, a little
on that
bit.
design too, a little bit. That's the vibe I get.
Yeah, it's a dope deck though.
It's
So
cool.
good luck,
Yeah, good luck.
Kowaleski and Co. Next up, we have the Bastet, the cat, ancient goddess, bronze foil playing cards.
Say that 5 times.
Nope. Cathead goddess and the Iran, ancient Egypt. Text cool. All right. Yeah. I mean, listen, I like actually I. This is not my style. I like the use of the gold on the front. I think the faces of the card look really good. The placement of the K's on the kings, on the actual kings, is a little bit not to my taste. I think it actually detracts a little bit, but like that ace of spades is dope. Like,
Yeah, the only problem is it's definitely a collector's deck. You're not
yeah.
going to use this to play cards, that's for sure.
And honestly, for all of the artwork and everything, the back design's a little just, it doesn't hit me as well as the front does.
Yeah.
But like these cards, like there's definitely some intricacy
That's
there.
supposed to be a cat eye?
Here, yes, it's a cat eye on the ace of spades, and then the clubs is actually
That's a
a
paw.
paw. Yeah. And then this
Yeah.
is the head, and then, yeah.
Or the nose. Yeah, that's the nose or the
The
head.
head, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's definitely not a bad deck. Like, just that
How much is it?
I wish the back design had a little bit something else to it. $24.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What is it with these random decks that come out that are just super expensive? Is that foil on the back
Yeah, it's
and front?
foil on the front and back, and the tuck. So,
That's cool.
yeah, I just don't, I don't know. It looks embossed.
Definitely not my style.
Yeah, it's not my style either. I think that price point really isn't too bad. The other interesting thing about it too is there's UV on top of the foil to give it a 3D kind of texture to it, which is interesting. Wide Ocean is printing it. I am not familiar with Wide Ocean. It looks like a Hong Kong-based company. If anyone's familiar with their cards or what they've printed in the past, feel free to drop a comment below. I'm curious. I'm always curious to hear how these cards handle. That's one of the things that I think, with something new-ish like this, with UV ink to create a 3D rise effect over foil, who knows how these cards are going to handle, but I also, don't necessarily know if this is a poker deck.
Yeah, it's not a handle deck anyway.
Yeah. I like the. Hey, honestly, I think my favorite part about the whole thing right here is the coffee coasters. But yeah, for the price point, if you like the deck, it's worth it. The foil on it kind of justifies the $24 point. I don't see mention of who will be shipping, so again, I'll assume self-fulfillment. But if you are self-fulfilling, mention it in the campaign. Yeah, good luck. Next up, we got the V-Dragon transparent playing cards.
These are cool.
I like the artwork. I just don't I don't know. Something about like transparent cards just don't do it for me.
No, I mean it's not something that I'd be like, oh, dude, I gotta get a brick. But like, they're just cool. It's cool novelty. They're cool looking. That's about it's about as far as I'll go. I think the artwork's cool. It's it's just cool.
I see my thing that I'm
You
just
know,
not a huge fan of here is the fact that the artwork doesn't get pulled through to the front. The front of the card is literally just the square with the 5 diamond, a diamond in the center, and the 5 diamond. And then the artwork, you're getting the back of it to come through. Eh,
right?
they're basically one-sided. Yeah, I don't.
How much are they?
$23 a deck.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly familiar with the price points for plastic cards. Yeah, I mean, listen, I definitely dig the art. They're not bad looking.
Yeah, I mean they're cool. It's not your typical deck to do anything with.
Yeah.
You're not going to use them.
I mean, you might play poker by the pool with them. I don't know. But
I'd rather get a Hoyle where you can see what you're looking at.
one, you get a handful of
That just
Hoyles for $23. But the
What?
artwork is very cool. It's just that price point's a little high on my end too. The artwork really is dope though.
Yeah, it is.
And
Cool.
that's kind of cool too. If you get 9 decks, they'll come in a wooden box.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So good luck.
Just say
Next up, we have tiniest vampire playing cards.
These are cute.
They actually are kind of cute. I kind of dig this. Not gonna lie.
They're pretty cute.
Yeah.
The artwork's pretty fun.
They're like
Kinda
fun, like cartoon, like how.
Burton?
What's up?
What's his name?
What?
What's Burton's name?
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Yeah.
That's it. They're kind of Tim Burton style.
Yeah, they're like fun little Halloweenish decks, but very cool. Very whimsical, fun style. Price points. $20 shipped. It's on the cusp of too high for me. I think this should be like again.
I agree.
18 would have been a better price point in my book on this one. Where are we at? Those stretch gold jokers though are dope with the paisley cloak and the vampire. I don't see who's gonna be printing now.
Did it say on the title thing, underneath the title or anything?
Not that I saw. Nope, and no fulfillment. So, 2 things to definitely consider there. Jason Witter has 15 campaigns under him. Let's see what else he's got. I think he's got... Alright, so a lot of, like, books. He's done books before. Hopefully he's self-fulfilled before. Yeah, hopefully he's self-fulfilled before. So if he has, like, maybe he's self-fulfilling. But I think touching on who the printer is for these would definitely help, especially at the price point. How many you're going to print would be interesting too, because it allows us to see a little bit more into it. But it's a cool deck otherwise, and it's funded already, so...
Yeah, I think a lot of people who have ideas or have these thoughts about creating a playing card deck, they don't know the whole background of playing cards, right? They don't know the process, so they're just like, I'm going to create playing cards. They throw it in there. $20 a deck is good. They don't really understand the whole dynamics of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're entering into an established niche, so it's worth kind of looking at. Yeah. All right. So next up, we have these Swallows playing cards.
I love this deck.
I'll come out the gate and say I'm not familiar too much with the campaign yet, but as we go through, the one thing that stands out to me immediately is the goal on this, which is $12,500.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Yeah. So USPCC printed deck. Amazing that it's in the title, as it should be. Easy to find. Hopefully fulfillment is somewhere close to the top as well. Video from the jump. Cool. Thank you for stopping here. Take a look. I'm Krypton, boy passionate. Got Swallows. I definitely like the kind of like watercolor graffiti-esque style to the art.
Yeah, I think it's great. I dig it.
And that back design looks nice. It's definitely a cool deck. Yeah. USPCC 2500. Okay, so the 2500 explains the goal.
Yeah.
No close.
I mean,
No seal.
2,500.
Yeah, I don't see silver gilded edition. That's an interesting combo, a white deck, like a primarily white deck with silver gilding. I don't know how that would look.
What's the back of it? What's the colors are on the back? Right
Kind of a
there.
grayish black, white thick border.
It might
It might
work.
not
Yeah,
look
the
bad.
border is thick,
Yeah.
though.
It might not look bad. It also could be because it's a prototype maybe or a render. Because the borders also look offset where one side is larger than the other. Hopefully that gets corrected before printing. But what are we at price point wise though? Whew, 30
How much?
$31.
Yeah, man,
So
that's a disaster.
so here's the thing. Deck price $16, fine. Shipping is $15. Like if shipping's going to be that much because you're internationally based, perfectly fine. Highly encourage you to check out somewhere that's going to be able to fulfill within the United States for you. There's a lot of them. You can definitely find someone who would be able to significantly bring down that US based shipping for you, especially if the majority of your shipping is going to be into the United States, but it looks like it's 13 euros worldwide. If you're fulfilling this yourself at that price point, you're definitely losing out because that's expensive for shipping. Like,
Yeah, I mean the deck shipped, no matter where it is, should be no more than 20 bucks, $21 tops. That's even a little on the high side, but um, there's really no reason why you can't have a U.S. fulfillment center if you're not in the States, you know?
the other thing I would say as well for this, just for ease of navigation, make sure that all your tiers don't have the exact same title. Even though they're obviously, this is for one deck, this is for two, this is for three, this is for six, put that number somewhere in the title so people can easily find, 1x Swallows playing cards, 2x, 3x, 6x. So that way they're not having to read every single one to find the tier they want. Um, People like things easily in front of them. Definitely try and make that happen. But yeah, I would say if this does not fund, shipping was likely the culprit, and if that's the case, I highly recommend you talk to someone like Gamblers, Art of Play, Murphy's, whoever does fulfillment within the United States that you feel comfortable using, and then even see if you potentially find a European counterpart to reduce shipping in Europe as well. So
Yeah,
good luck, because I do dig the artwork on this deck. I think it's really unique. Would love to see this come to fruition. So make sure to think about fulfillment.
yeah, it's a dope deck. I love it.
Yeah. Next up, we have. That's it.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. All right. So, Steve, what are you backing this week?
Swallows.
All right.
What else? Go up. Swallows. I got. That's about it, huh? What else is up? What's the first one? The carbon one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only one for me is the swallows, man.
So, I'd say in
Oh, and that
in the
and that Bonacci one.
Bonacci, yeah. So I think in my
Yeah,
book, I kind of like I dig the artwork on Stardust. I think the only thing that's holding me back there is that there's so much void space on the back design. Um,
yeah.
$15 shipped isn't bad for it. I'd potentially back Stardust. Definitely would back Bonacci. I think it's really clean looking. It's really cool. Has a summer feel to it. Kind of reminds me of Tommy Hilfiger in a way that's making me want to get it. Um, and then
Do you wear Tommy Hilfiger?
I mean, when I was like in high school, maybe I haven't worn Tommy Hilfiger
Oh,
in a long
oh.
time. Yeah, so but maybe that's what it is. It's hitting that nostalgia factor there. Um,
Maybe.
the
It does look like Tommy Hilfiger. That or Nautica.
yeah, the Lepidopterist playing cards.
Lepidopterist. I'm gonna say
Lepidopterist
Lepidopterist.
playing cards. I dig it. Again, 3011 vibe to it. I like them. I like the motif. I like the fact that there's butterflies factored into it. I'd probably go with the standard on that one versus the other two, just because to me, I'm not all about variations in the talk, more about the deck. And then yeah, swallows as well. Honestly, even the tiniest vampire, if the price point was reasonable, it's a cute deck. But Yeah, a lot of good decks this week. I think a lot of the price points were really there for some of these that we saw. For the ones we didn't, I think everyone had a pretty well built out campaign as well, all things considered. I think
Yeah.
the tiniest vampire could have used a little more information about fulfillment and the printing. But again,
I feel like that's the thing that people miss the most is who's printing it
yeah.
and the fulfillment.
And again, though, I think looking at the created history for Tiniest Vampire, there was a lot of information, and it showed that he had created a lot of books. First foray into the world of playing cards. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. So, as with all of these decks, if you don't fund, I highly suggest that you take it back to the drawing board. Don't be discouraged. I didn't see any deck on here today where I was like, no, that's ridiculous. Um, I really like the Swallows. I think that one has some great artwork to it. I really hope that they can figure out something with the shipping. But otherwise, yeah, it was pretty good week this week. There was a lot more potential for the amount of decks than we usually see. So glad to see that even though more decks are coming out, I think there were something like 12 or 13 decks this week. Even though there's a lot of decks coming out, we're starting to see that there's a lot more quality decks in those bunches. So nicely done. So, thank you everyone for tuning in today. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A big thank you to our sponsors. Introducing the Latin Quarter playing cards and gaming chips from McClure and Stark. This ultimate poker player's chipset will turn every poker night into an underground casino night. Make sure to check them out on Kickstarter now.
You may have experienced capturing fireflies in a jar on a warm summer's night as a kid. Seeing that glow was like holding the power of lightning in your own hands. This is Marvelous Decks. Join us as we celebrate the marvelous and amazing things that surround us. Sign up and get notified at marvelousdecks.com.
And we drop these Kickstarters every Monday, so make sure to ring the bell so you get notifications for future episodes.
Peace.